Hello guys, and welcome back to another month of Ask Ad Almost Anything. Ask Ad Almost Anything is a monthly series where patrons can ask me a question, almost any question, and I will answer it in this video. To become a patron, you can head on over to my Patreon page. There's a link in the description to do so. A pledge of just $1 a month will get you access to being able to ask questions for Ask Ad Almost Anything videos. Without further ado, let us get on with the first question. This question comes from Tracy. What's the story of how you first got involved with Mindcrack? This is a story that I've told a couple of times. I started watching Good's Let's Play, his single player Let's Play at the time, way back when it pretty much first started. Way back at the beginning, sometime, like episode 3, maybe 5, maybe a little later than that, but it was pretty early on. I saw a post somewhere on the Minecraft forums back when I used to browse that all the time. I haven't been on there for months probably, but anyway, I saw a post on there and I was like, hey, that sounds cool, I'll check that out. I think it was actually the first Let's Play I watched as well. I maybe watched episodes, but I never really followed one. And I enjoyed it, and I went back and watched the ones I'd missed, and I have watched it ever since. Like, I've watched like pretty much every episode of Mindcrack by Good. And then he wanted to start up a multiplayer server in Season 2. This is like delving in a little bit into the history of Minecraft as a whole, but he started up a multiplayer server in Season 2, and then at some point during Season 2 he set up a competition to get viewers onto the server. And the way he did it, the competition was you had to answer, I think, about 15 questions based on his single player LP. So you had to actually watch maybe 50 or so episodes of his single player LP to be able to answer the questions. So I was like, okay, well, I there's no point entering that. I won't win. I don't really have the time to deal with it and whatnot. So I just kind of sat back, and there was a couple of entries. He had 3 slots. He would give it to the first 3 people who would get all the answers, or if the time expired, the 3 people with the most answers. There was about a month to do the questions. So I sat back and I was like, well, there's no point entering. I won't win. Blah blah blah. One person won. Nebrith, possibly. I think Nebrith was in that competition. And then a second person won, who I don't know for the life of me, to be honest. This is kind of stuff you'd have to read on the Mindcrack wiki. You can Google this, like join order or how people joined or whatever, how people joined Mindcrack. But yeah, I don't remember who the second person was. And then it went for like, this was in the first couple of weeks, and then it went for a week and like 2 days before the close of the competition, and there wasn't that third entry, that third winner. I was like, well, I stand a chance. Now this is like 2 days before the competition closed. I had to work on those 2 days. I was also talking to my wife, or girlfriend at the time, online. And I spent like pretty much every waking hour watching Good's single player series again, like all over again, start to finish, and answering all the questions as I went along and when they like showed up. It wasn't particularly hard, the questions. I'm surprised nobody got another full set of answers. But anyway, I did that, and I submitted my thing. I was like, well, hopefully I can get it and whatnot. And I didn't get all the answers. I didn't get them all right. But I am still here. So you're like, well, you didn't get them all right. What happened? What happened was I got one wrong. There was one about there was a cave spider spawner which Good found, and I got it wrong. Like when did we first hear the cave spider spawner, or the spider spawner? There were cave spiders didn't go. The spider spawner. When did we first hear that? I got it wrong. And way back in like episode 3, I put like episode 53 or whatever. But anyway. Oh, by the way, you also had to fly around the map to find all of the questions were written on signs. You had to fly around the map to find. I don't even think you could fly at this point. This was before creative. You had to walk around the map to find all these questions. Like, you couldn't sprint or anything. This is way back when. You probably couldn't sprint. You couldn't do anything. You had to walk around the map to find the signs where the questions were. Like, it wasn't just a sheet of questions. You had to find the questions. So this is what I spent every week now doing. Anyway, that was a bit of a tangent. I got one wrong. There was another person who also got one wrong, who you may remember. He was Karura. So we actually tied. Now, that's interesting. That's how I joined Minecraft. But that's interesting because, as you know, Karura was removed from the server. If I got one more right, then Karura would never have been removed. Like, that part of Minecraft history, which is kind of well known, kind in a way important, I guess. That part of Minecraft history wouldn't have happened. And if Karura got one wrong, he would have been presumably removed still because he wouldn't change as a person. No, if Karura got one more right, he would still been removed probably, but there would be one less member now, presumably, and I wouldn't be there. So that's just an interesting little thing, like, to add on to that story. But yes, that's how I joined Minecraft. That's how I got involved and whatnot. I won a competition just by the skin of my teeth. This next question comes from Tunnel Z. Did it take you a long time to get accustomed to Canadian life? And how long did it take you to move everything from England to Canada? To get accustomed to Canadian life, I'm still adjusting. It's not a huge culture shock. Like, it's pretty easy. Like, there's no different in languages. The food, not that much different. I mean, it's not like Canada. It's a whole bunch of say seafood, which is more you'll find in Asia, I suppose. So there's not much of a culture shock. I am getting used to, say, things like shops, like knowing where to buy stuff. Like, say, in England, you would like go to Tesco, or you would go to WH Smith or Waterstones or wherever for various different products. But here you would go to Loblaws, or you would go to Chapters, or you would go to Staples, stuff like that. There's not really actually a WH Smith equivalent, I don't think. Staples is like your big box stationery store, but there's not really like a small stationery store like WH Smith is. Huh, that's interesting. Anyway, yeah, it's getting used to the little things, you know? Things like the money, like we don't have the tax added on at the point of sale in England like you do in Canada, which is completely retarded. It's so stupid. It benefits absolutely nobody to add the tax on at the point of sale. Like, it's so dumb. So dumb. Have that tax added on the ticket price. People will know how much they're paying. They can have their cash ready. Boom, done. Oh my god. It's just so stupid. There is literally no reason why it should exist at all. And people make the argument of like, well, it makes the price look lower. Yeah, but if the tax was added on all the tickets, the price is just adjusted by however much percentage. Nothing looks lower compared to anything else. And you don't have to add the stupid tax on. Oh, I hate that so much. Oh god. And you never know how much tax. Oh, whatever. That's just a tangent. Yeah. If I were to become the Prime Minister of Canada, that's one thing I would change. Like, ticket price has to include tax, or at least put the tax value on there. Like, you can still have the product say it's like $2.99 for the product, but then say it's like, actually, it's 3.15 or whatever it would be with the tax. I hate that so much, so much. Anyway, I'm clearly not used to the tax. Clearly not. I I just don't understand that. Anyway, but yes, still getting used to small things like that. I've not had to drive in Canada. In fact, I don't think I legally can, and I don't have a car to do so anyway. So it's kind of difficult. But when I do that, it's probably going to be a bit interesting. I might have to get used to that. Because you're obviously driving on the other side of the road. There's no roundabouts. There's four-way stops. There's all kinds of different rules and traffic codes and signs and stuff like that. So that may be a little interesting to get used to. But apart from that, it's not really a culture shock and stuff to get used to. There's probably several hundreds of other little small things that I'm still getting used to. One time, like I would say, I would call a beanie, and people in Canada call a beanie a toque, and I would get yelled at for calling it a beanie. So that's another little thing that you got to get used to. But yeah, it's not really a culture shock. Like I said, there's probably hundreds of little things I'm missing. Maybe I'll do something on or name some of those later on if I remember them. But as for moving everything, I'm still doing that. Like I haven't even started doing that. The only stuff I have here is what I had in a couple of suitcases when I moved to or when I flew over from England again. Like to actually physically ship stuff is damn expensive. Like I would like to ship various board game or not board games. I have a couple of board games I would like to ship actually. I didn't really start collecting board games until I was in Canada, so um, there's not really many board games I have to ship. But like my Lego, I would like to ship over. My Connects, I would like to ship over because you can't buy Connects anymore at all anywhere. Like it's all new Connects, which is rubbish. But like for when I have, at least for when I have kids, one day eventually maybe, I would like to be able to ship over my Lego and my Connects for them to play with and whatnot. Yeah, there's not really huge things I want to get shipped over. I have several books and stuff like that, and magazines. Um, Maybe some other things that I'm not thinking of. Um, but like it's not going to take too long. It's just a case of money and getting all packed up and properly freighted across will take time and money really. But the time is only really the shipping time, like not really a long time, I guess. It's a case of money. Everything is a case of money, really. But yeah, I'm still moving stuff. I haven't even started. So in answer to the second part of the question, infinity, really. This next question comes from Graydon B. If you could go back to school and learn anything, what would it be? I would like to go for electronics, computing, and robotics. Really, my plan before I decided to move to Canada was to go and study robotics in Reading University. Well, it wasn't really a plan. It was what I kind of wanted to do. It was an idea. Whether I would ever be able to do it or not is another question. But it's something I kind of wanted to do. But I didn't get the chance to do that. So if I could probably study anything, it would be robotics. And I believe there's 3 universities in Ottawa, so to be able to study robotics, if I'm in Ottawa, it will be easy. Probably I may have to do some prerequisite classes, but if I got the time and the money one day, maybe I'll do that. And maybe I will go back and do something at least in that field or whatever, boost up my education a little bit, or maybe I don't think you can do a robotics correspondence, but maybe I could do that one day too. But that's what I would go back to school for and learn anything is my prerequisites and the actual course of robotics, most likely. Radioactive K asks top 5 favorite movies or favorite. I always put an R in there. I hate favorite questions. Like favorite depends on what kind of mood you're in, what you want. Say about movies, what you want to watch, or with food, what you feel like eating. Like if you say your favorite food is pizza, well, that's a bad example. But if you say your favorite food is like a mushroom pizza, and you eat mushroom pizza every day, then you don't really want a mushroom pizza. And if you get asked what's your favorite food at the end of that, and you say you would probably not say mushroom pizza, because as much as you like it and you've eaten it every day for however long, you want something different, kind of like that. So I really have favorite movies. Well, I do have favorite movies, but like it's not something I can really quantify as these are my top five favorite movies. I enjoy 28 Days Later. 28 Weeks Later was alright as well. If I'm in kind of like a horror-ish kind of mood. It's the most horror movie I've ever watched, anyway. I enjoyed Cube, um, and Cube 2, and Cube Zero. Is it Cube Zero? Yeah. Cube 2, Hypercube, and Cube Zero. I enjoyed them. They got worse and worse as time progressed. Like, as the sequels got more, they got worse. As most movies do, but I enjoyed the Cube movie. Again, that's kind of a little bit horror, a little bit suspense. Other movies I enjoy, I'm drawing a blank now, to be honest. Um, I really am. I enjoyed Contagion. It's one my wife hated. She hated that movie. Oh, I enjoyed it though. Like it was an interesting little movie. There's not really a lot going on, to be honest. It is a little bit boring. There's not really much happening. But it's different. Like really, really different. It's not like a huge action movie. It's like fighting a virus. So like you can't really do big action scenes and explosions and whatnot. So I can see how it's kind of boring to some, but I enjoyed it as a movie. I really enjoyed it. Um, Other movies I enjoyed, I really can't think of any. There are loads of movies that I like. Fifth Element is one that I love. I love Fifth Element. Waterworld, I enjoy. Tron, the original Tron. A lot of these movies are old. Like I catch them. I used to watch a lot of TV in bed. Like I would have a TV in my room, and like at say 10 at night or whatnot, I would watch TV until I fell asleep. And ITV used to show, and probably still does, show a lot of old movies. And this was back like pre TV guides and whatnot. Like if you wanted the TV guide, you would have to look in the magazine. Um, and like all these movies would come up, like Tron would come up, and Waterworld would come up, and I would have no idea what these movies are at all. They would just look really cool, and I would enjoy them. But then it's just kind of like, what movie is this? And then I would forget to look it up in the magazine and whatnot. And then it would come on like a month or so later. It'd be on again. I'm like, oh, this movie, I remember this. Like I remember Tron. I think it was Tron. I saw clips of Tron on ITV. Like I caught them on ITV at night, and I had no idea what it was at all. This was just this really cool looking movie, and I had no idea. Like they were riding these light cycle things, and I was like, wow, that's amazing. But I have no idea what this is, and I didn't see it at all for years and years and years, and then just one day I saw something maybe online or whatnot, and I saw an image. I was like, that's that movie. That's that movie I've been wanting to know the name of for like 3 years. And it was Tron. And I love Tron. Castaway is another one I love. Jurassic Park and um, other ones too. That I've enjoyed those. There's a whole bunch of movies. Harry Potter as well. How could I forget the Harry Potter movies? I love the Harry Potter movies. Um, yeah, there's a whole bunch of movies that I enjoy. Nothing that I can really quantify as these are my top five favorite movies, but that gives you an idea of what kind of movies I enjoy. Josh Corey asks, what did you study in university? This ties back with our previous question. I studied electronics, I studied computing. This wasn't really as a stepping stone to get towards the robotics. This is more like I enjoy that kind of stuff, so I will study that kind of stuff. I also studied physics, English, language, probably not English lit, English lang, yeah, and I think that's it. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Like the ones that meant something to me anyway. Um, and it wasn't actually university either. It was English college, which is kind of on par with a Canadian university, I think. The distinction is quite blurred though when you're dealing with grades and leveling between international borders. It gets kind of messy, but it's kind of on par with Canadian and I guess US universities. Like the first year of university is kind of what you learn in college, I think. That's what I did. That's what I went to college for. How well I did, that's another question for another day. But yes, that's what I studied. Alice Dare asks, what is the worst injury you've ever had? I don't know if it would count as an injury. I had kidney stones a couple of years ago now. Like I said, I don't really know if that counts as an injury. It's not really a disease, or like a virus or a bacteria, or I guess it's kind of a condition, maybe? A thing that happens? But I had kidney stones. Whether you want to count that as an injury or not, I don't know. But that is by far the worst experience medically of my life. Like, I wouldn't wish kidney stones on my worst enemy. It is horrible. The pain, like, I can't even begin to describe the pain of kidney stones. I can't even, like, imagine the pain of kidney stones. Like, I've been through it. I've had them, and I might have them again in the future, because once you've had them, you're at risk of having them again. I can't begin to imagine the pain that I went through. Like I can't picture it. I can't feel it. I can't like you. If you cut yourself and then you think about cutting yourself later, um, like on your arm, on your hand, or on your leg or whatever, and you feel like you remember cutting yourself, you can kind of feel the pain in a way, a little bit. But kidney stones, like, not at all. Not at all can you like imagine the pain. Like it's like your brain cannot comprehend the level of pain. Like your brain doesn't believe that such level of pain can exist in this world. It is by far the most painful thing I've experienced. By far. If you drink pop every day and whatnot, like fizzy drinks, Coke and Pepsi and whatever every single day, just don't, because that will put you at higher risk with kidney stones. If you get kidney stones, like you would want to just shoot yourself in the face. It's just the worst pain imaginable. I've basically stopped drinking like Coke and Pepsi completely. Now that I've had them, now that I know that doing so makes it a risk. There's other things like salty foods, I guess, is a bit of a risk, but I still eat some of those um, quite a lot. But just try not to get kidney stones. Oh, it's so bad. It's really genuinely like I can't begin to tell you how bad it is. It's just so painful. But if that doesn't count as an injury to you, I have smashed my head open. Not my physical skull, like cracked the skin, I guess. No. Have I cracked my skull? I'm not sure if I actually damaged the skull. To be honest, this was back when I was like 1 or 2, maybe. Like I can't remember. I was so young, I can't remember this. So that gives you kind of an idea of how young I was. Like I was still crawling around, probably like just beginning to walk, I think maybe. But I fell off the back of a chair and into a fireplace and cracked my head open. I still have the scar for that, and that was probably like one of the worst like actual injuries I've had. I've also been to the hospital to get staples in my head because that's been cut pretty badly on the top of it due to an incident involving the corner of the wall. And I think that's pretty much it injury-wise that I've had. Depending what you count as injuries and whatnot, that gives you some idea of the medical disaster that I am. And that is it for another month of Ask Ads Almost Anything. I would like to thank all the patrons for their questions and their ongoing support of the Adlington channel. I would like to thank all you guys for watching and viewing and liking and commenting and all that good stuff that you do. Even if you cannot become a patron, you can still support in a number of ways, and you guys continue to do that, and that is fantastic, and I appreciate it so much. If you would like to become a patron, like I said at the beginning of the video, there is a link in the description to do so. There are various backer rewards that you can receive, and just a $1 pledge a month will get you access to asking questions for Ask Ads Almost Anything. But as always, thank you guys very much for watching, and I shall see you all in the next episode.